Everybody, welcome back. This is another episode. This is a scratch-built statue this time. There's no kit bashing involved. This is me sculpting the Man-Bat. This is originally a Sideshow collectibles piece. I definitely do not wish the company any harm. I love Sideshow collectibles. I've been collecting their pieces for a long time now. With that respect, these files will not be available to anybody. These are for my own personal use. I will be printing them out and painting them and uploading more videos of that. And hopefully, I mean, if you want to sculpt your own, then having a watch of these videos is probably going to help you a little bit. So you can see here I'm just sculpting the light.
It's called a searchlight, sir.
Thank you, Bob. The searchlight. I'm not doing any kind of sort of sculpting per se. This is what I call just gizmo modeling. I'm just using the gizmo tool, duplicating a few items and mixing them together. Basically, a little bit of boolean here and there, and I've pretty much got the searchlight done. I'm not going into depth through absolutely everything. It's just a quick sort of video with a few little tips and tricks inside, hopefully, that you'll enjoy watching. Leave a comment below if you want to see more in-depth tutorials. I am planning on doing some broken down tutorials on my Patreon channel. But honestly, at this point, I think Nomad's been around long enough that there is 101 tutorials out there already on YouTube. I myself learned how to use Nomad through YouTube. A couple of decent channels, Drug Free Dave, I believe it's called, and Southern Effects. They were really good channels. Everything I needed to learn. If you're learning Nomad, definitely keep watching videos. I always watch sculpting videos. Nomad and ZBrush, I do use both, but I will always pick up something new, some little setting, trick, tool, whatever, just to speed up the workflow a little bit. I do use ZBrush, as I just said, and I've been seeing a lot online basically recently about the comparison between Nomad and ZBrush, and honestly for me it's like I'm not a fanboy of either. I prefer Nomad's hands-on approach. It feels more like you're actually creating something, rather than pressing a few settings and tweaking a few sliders here and there to sort of get to where you want. I know that's faster and it's probably neater, and it is because I use ZBrush, as I said. But coming from a traditional art background, I really enjoy Nomad. It just feels more creative, shall we say, more hands-on, more monster clear, like you're actually doing stuff. You've got these added tweaks like being able to use alphas and stuff like that, which for me is the major benefit of 3D sculpting. Being able to suck out an image from a piece of clay that would take you literally days to perform in normal clay. So now I've pretty much got the bulk of the work done. I'm just sculpting the small details for the searchlight. I don't even know what the hell this is. Now pretty much done again. I'm just using the gizmo really. There's not really sort of modeling, sculpting happening here. I'm just getting all the details down. This sculpt did take a good, I don't know, I think I spent about 3 days sculpting the Man-Bat, maybe longer. I've been sculpting for around this last push. I've been sculpting for about 3 weeks, between 5 and 8 hours per day. I've been lazy with sculpting and I need to catch up, so I've been doing a lot of work and trying to produce some of my best sculpts basically.
And if I may say so, sir, you're coming on leaps and bounds. Originally called the arc light. Invented by Claude Pouillet in 1850.
Yep, thank you, Bob.
Sorry, sir.
Now I'm just sculpting the front for there's going to be the cap that's going to hold the bat symbol and basically seal the front off. I'm going to print in transparent the front, the light, the glass, so it can have the light up feature. Now I'm just adding a few alphas. I mix it up slightly towards the end. I don't want to use the same alpha and over again, so I do duplicate, and I'm just going in and knocking down the harshness. I'm starting to add some more and more damage to it. I'm onto the base. I decided I want another layer under the actual rocks that you can see in the reference, just to give it a little bit more balance, and I just prefer it. So that was the only real change that I sort of made. Everything else I tried to keep relatively the same as the original sculpture. Hats off to the original sculptor and to Sideshow as well for producing an amazing looking statue. I fell in love as soon as I saw it, which is why I had to sculpt my own. Now I'm just knocking in some sort of rough stone shapes for the base.
This is the part where you can add some therapeutic, non-copyrighted music as a filler, sir. Or maybe whistle, hum a tune.
Yeah, I could cue some music while we're not talking, Bob. I get that, but yeah, I'm just waiting to move on to the next part of the model, and I don't know. This is all sort of new to me. What do you want?
A little effort, maybe?
Alright, so now I'm sort of happy with the rocks now. I've moved on to the girder, steel girder. Yeah, I've just basically used a tube brush, and as a profile I've made sort of a U shape as a profile, and then that's given me this girder sort of shape. Again, just added some more damage to it. The whole thing's been, battered and beaten, so yeah, now I'm happy with that. Now I'm onto the body, so this is where it gets fun, and this is where we can do some actual sort of sculpting. So I'm just using the picture for the reference in the back, and I'll just put it a slight overlay so I can see through the clay and see sort of where the shapes need to be. So I'm just knocking in the legs and the position of everything that I can see from the front, and that'll give me a good front view. Now when we flick to the side, it looks like a big pile of crap. So now I'm just going to move to the side picture. It's good if you actually click the view and save the camera view at certain points. You can just click the camera view, and you can go switch between different angles as with the reference in the background. So now I'm just trying to block out the basic shapes of the man-bat. It's just slowly just pulling and pushing the clay around until I'm sort of happy with the initial shapes. And that's the important thing. You've got to break down your model into stages. You've got your initial blocking out stage with the proportions and body parts and the angles and where they're going to be. Then you can start putting in the secondary details, muscle shapes, and that kind of thing. Then when you're happy with that, then you can start going in with the details. Skin details, paws, that kind of stuff. And if you break it down like that, it'll be a lot easier for your workflow as well. Now again, you can see I'm just sort of blocking out where the muscles are going to be, the muscle groups and stuff. I'll generally get so far with it, and then I will smooth down the whole thing. and then that just gives me sort of a building block again, and I'll start sculpting again over the top of that and refining that shape that I've already got now. Nothing's permanent. You can just keep tweaking and playing around. There's no time limit on these things unless you're doing a commission piece, obviously. But then you're gonna be judging the time it's gonna take to do that.
Ramble. Ramble.
Yeah, I know, Bob. I ramble every video. I know. I get it. Sorry. So I'm just trying to figure out where the stomach muscles are going to be, as he's crunched over quite a bit as well. I've got to take that into consideration. I'm just going to keep checking around the angles. Basically, it's a 3D model, so it's in 3D. You need to keep turning and looking around your reference. What's going to look good from the front might look like absolute crap from the side. So you've got to keep checking and tweaking and pulling things in and out, and you're just making a picture from different angles. Think of it like that. Now I'm sort of happy, I think, where all the muscle groups in the stomach are. So I can just leave that alone for a bit. Now I'm going on to the legs. That's basically, I'll just be taking the buttocks, the thighs, the knees and the calves, and probably I will join them and then voxel remesh them together, which I've done, and obviously skipped the filming of that part, and you can see all I've done is remesh them and then smooth the whole area down. Now I'm just selecting the top part of it because it's a bit low, and I need to invert that, and I'm going to pull that up, and then I'll have sort of the top of the jeans. Again, this is the first stage, so it's just shapes, muscle groups, and that's pretty much it. You can see now I've carved a few lines with the crease brush and defined the muscles a little bit more. Now I'm just using a mask with a stabilizer on it, and I'm just basically drawing on the creases. I'm going to invert that, and then I'm going to go and use the inflate tool in the top right hand corner from that palette, and I'm going to increase the inflation by, I don't know, between 2 and 10%, maybe, depending on how much you want to stick out.
Oh dear. You forgot to record another part, didn't you, sir?
Yes, I did, Bob. I can see I've missed a little bit of sculpting. For some reason, the Viva Video app, and I will say it, I'll name and shame you, Viva Video, because it absolutely sucked donkey balls. It's absolute crap, and any clip over like 40 minutes, the app just crashes and it's just unusable. I hate it. Anyway, so I'm having to stop and pause and refilm when it went over like 45 minutes, and a couple of times I actually forgot to record. I do apologise, that was one of them. Basically, all I've done is from the legs that I had, I extracted the whole thing pretty much, and then I used an alpha with a roll, and I used just some fabric alpha. I went over the whole thing, and then I softened stuff up, and now I'm just going in, and I put the stitching in using another alpha that was a stitching alpha that I made myself in Procreate. Very easy to do, and that's giving me a nice stitching pattern. So I've gone around and creased the legs, and then done that stitching pattern all around this inside of the crease, and that's given the sort of stitch, the join that you see in the legs. Now you can see I've just used the mask brush, and I've selected the areas that I want to be the knee, inverted it, and I'm either going to shrink it in, I believe. Yep. Now I've held onto the mask, and I've kept that there, and I've just started to pull out the mesh around it, the jeans, the cloth, shall we say, and that's starting to give me the torn jean pattern that you can see on the other knee. After that, I just inverted the mask again and then used the crease brush to form the knee inside. Now I'm just moving on to the face, and this was quite enjoyable to sculpt. I love sculpting monsters and creatures and stuff anyway, so yeah. Using reference again, always use reference if you have it. If you don't have it, try and get something similar. You know, if you're sculpting an eagle and you don't have the exact reference for the eagle you want to sculpt, and get some different photographs of eagles. You can use reference for the beak, the claws, the feather, the eyes, so on and so on. So again, you can see I'm not really using an overlay as much doing the head. Maybe I should have done that, to be fair. I've just decided to go and just sort of try and freehand sculpt the face. Again, I like Nomad and I like the hands-on creative part of it. I don't struggle. I think it takes a lot of the fun out of sculpting for me personally, when it's just a case of copying, using an overlay to copy details, and then, I don't know, is it pressing sliders and options and pressing different tools to, get to a certain point.
Ramel.
Yep, I know, sorry, it's Nomad, not ZBrush. Okay, Bob, thank you. Right, so, again now, I'm just refining the face, pulling down if you want something angry, pull down the eyebrows. So I've pulled down the eyebrows a little bit. I'm just trying to get the proportions to where I want them and get the face ready for detailing. Now I'm onto the ears. I've just used a sphere and I'm just dragging it and squashing it around just to get the basic shape of the ear. Mostly the tools I use are I use alpha brushes. I'll use the Move drag brush, smooth brush, a damn standard, crease brush, inflate, mask, trim, and the tube brush. Those brushes alone, basically, I can pretty much get 90% of modelling done, if not 100%. It's very rare I'll use other tools. If I am, normally it's just to sort of try them out and to see what effects I get with them, so then I can remember what effect I got, and if I need to get that in the future, then I know I can do it using that tool. It's never generally using as many tools as I can. So now I'm sort of done with the ears. I'm going to work on the mouth. First of all, I'm going to put the gum line in, which is just a sphere. Again, squash down, throw it in there, and just move it around. Now it's the teeth. I generally would use a tube brush for the teeth just to get more precision, but I wanted a little less precision. Looking at the reference, the teeth are all sort of manky and crooked and look gnarly. So, gnarly? I never used that word.
You've been watching those 90s American TV shows, haven't you, sir?
Yep, maybe, Bob, maybe. So, after I've duplicated, I'm happy with it, duplicated it. Again, I'm going to move it around a little bit so it's not exactly the same. And then keep duplicating and moving them around until I've got the teeth. There are different ways of doing teeth, and I actually will quite often change ways of doing things, and you'll notice that in the videos to get the same result. And it's just to try different things, keep it interesting. When you're staring at a screen for like 8 hours a day trying to sculpt things, you still want to be happy, you want to be content, you want to be enjoying what you're doing. And I'm like 3 weeks in now, non-stop pretty much, I've been sick, which is another reason why the videos haven't been uploaded. So I've just been laid in bed for two of those 3 weeks, sick, just sculpting. So now I'm on the hair. Again, I just used a sphere, flattened it down, got the general shape of it, and now I'm trying the method that I did with the trousers on hair. So I've basically used a mask brush with stability on. I've drawn some hairlines roughly, and then I've just used the inflate. Now I'm trying to refine and reinforce those lines with using the drag brush and pulling some hair up and away from the sphere. So now I've just reinforced to get these little spikes. Remember, if you like what you're seeing, remember you can hit that like, subscribe and the notification bell. It'll really help me out, guys. I am trying. I don't know if I've been shadow banned or not. I ain't got a clue. View accounts sort of dropping. I am jumping on a few social media platforms and trying to get some views and get some followers that way. So we'll see. I'm not sculpting for YouTube. I'm using YouTube to show what I'm doing anyway. Yeah. So if you like it, yeah, give me some support. So now I'm onto the beard, and again I'm just using the same method, using the mask brush, drawing out the lines and the shapes of the fur, and then I'm going to use invert, and we're going to blow it up. I think I use like 20% there, I think. So now I've got a really nice shape for the hair. And again, I'm using the crease brush, and I'm just refining those lines with the crease brush. I do make hair using the tube brush, and it's a really good way of doing hair. This, however, I do like as well, because you get a bit more of a natural look to it. Now I'm sort of happy with that. I think I go in and add a little bit more texture afterwards, but as in getting the shape, that's pretty good. Now I've gone in with the crease brush again, and I've inverted it, and now on the peaks of the hair, I'm just reinforcing that again. So now that's really giving you a sharp, sort of stylized hair look with literally not much effort. That's taken a few minutes to do that. Now I've just jumped straight on with no warning, straight into the arms, and again there was just tubes and a sphere for the elbow, another sphere for the hand, and I've just joined them, Vauxhall remeshed them together and smoothed it down. Now I'm using the crease brush, and I'm just sort of defining where the muscles are, and sketching those in. Using the gizmo, I'm gonna fatten it up a little bit, keep adding the lines. I'm just sketching things in, so I've got a rough idea where everything needs to be. And now what I've sketched in, I can use the move brush, and I can manipulate the muscles in the arm to where I need it to be. Now it's the shoulder caps, and these will be joined to the arm, and then the shoulder caps with the arm will be subtracted with boolean from the upper torso. Upper torso? Is there an upper torso? Yeah, upper torso. I think there is. Well, there is now. And then there will be keys added for 3D printing and to build the statue. Now I'm using the move brush, and I'm moving the legs out, and I'm trying to get rid of this symmetry, basically. I don't want a symmetrical model. You want to try and stay away from that when you're building statues. You want something a little bit more natural. Museum poses, yeah, they're okay, but you're never going to get, you're not going to be it's going to be hard to tell a story with a museum pose. So I've moved on to the wings, and these are just extensions from his fingers, basically. I've used the tube brush, and as you can see there, I've made some sharp corners, and I've made some smooth ones. Now again, I've used another tube brush, and I've basically set the profile flat, so you've got a sort of flat plane, and I'm gonna use the radius on each point and the twist on each point, and doing that I've been able to manipulate the plane and make the wing.
Has the video frozen? What happened there then, sir?
Yeah, I can see it's frozen, Bob. I mean, you're supposed to be my automated goddamn helper.
An oversight on my part, sir. I must profusely apologize. Maybe now would be a good time to talk about today's video sponsor?
It would be a good time, yeah, but we don't have a sponsor, Bob, so I can't even use that to fill in the gap now that we have with this not moving. Can you sort it out, please, Bob?
Right away, sir.
Right, thank you. Jesus Christ. So, you can see that I've manipulated it and moved it around using the twist. Once I've validated it, then I've used the move brush, and I've just tightened pulled the corners in to tighten them up. I also wanted it to be a little bit thinner, so I duplicated the part, I pulled it out a little bit, and then I booleaned it from itself to basically thin it out, so it's a lot thinner. Again, now I'm just using the move brush, and I'm just manipulating the clay to fit the part. So you can see now I've got some nice smooth planes for the wings, and that's looking really good. And poof, voila, that was, yeah, interesting. So basically I've just duplicated the wing, mirrored it to the other side. The veins, I used the mask brush with stable. Again, the exact same thing that I did for the hair. The only difference is that I smoothed out the corners, the edges, to transition into the skin a little bit better. Now I'm doing the fur on the back, and that's just been used the mask brush. I've drawn out the area of the fur. I extracted it, and now I'm waiting for the video to keep going again. Come on, Bob.
Sorry, sir.
You can see I've just used a fur alpha. I've used this fur alpha, I've drawn it all around there, again inverted it, and used the inflate brush. And I actually found that it's given it a really, really good matted sort of hair look. I was quite impressed. That was just straight off the bat to try it, and it worked out great. And again, now I'm just reinforcing. You can see the little tufts of hair that it's created, so I'm going to reinforce those with the drag brush, and I'm just going to pull the hair up and out to give me some irregularities, and make it the hair look a little bit thicker. So you can see I'm doing the same concept for the shoulder, because that's also covered in hair. And again, I've inverted, and that's it, basically inflated it. That was a smooth filter that I've gone over and smoothed the whole hair. Now very quickly we're into the foot, and you just use the tube brush. I've made the shape of it as a cylinder, validated it, inflated it, and now I'm just sort of sculpting the feet. I could have used a tube brush for each toe, but I decided, well, let's do a bit of sculpting. You can see here I've used the tube brush for the nail, like I could have done for the teeth, and this would have given, but this is a bit more of a uniformed look, which the claws are. So that's it, it's pretty much done. It was quite a fast video, there weren't too much in-depth with everything. As I said, I'll probably put some more in-depth tutorials on the Patreon and stuff, with some broken down parts, just to show you how I'm doing that fur from scratch, maybe how I do the vein work. Just let me know in the comments, anything you want to see, give me a shout. So yeah, I was really happy how it's turned out. There's lots of great texture on it. I'll probably add a little bit more. It needs some more texture to the feet, and then it's going to be 3D printed. I will be uploading a video of the print when it's done, and I'll also be uploading a video of the finished painted piece with the light and everything. I really loved the original statue, so I cannot wait to print this out and have it in my own collection. It's taken quite a while to sculpt it, but I really enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed watching as well. Thanks very much. Thanks for the Patreon. We've still got one guy in there. Just, yeah, he's amazing every month. And honestly, I need to update more content. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Ciao for now.
That's my place.